I want to discuss this topic of it never being too late to get your life together. Um, I do believe this. I do believe this is true. Um, I do believe at a certain age, you really do have to look at the cards you have been dealt, right? And be to some degree realistic. But I think in general, it really is never too late. You got to think about it. You just never really know what may make everything in your life change for the better. You just don't know. You don't know what decision you're going to make tomorrow or next week or next month that could possibly make your life worse or better. And that's the excitement of life. Every day you wake up, you're given a blank slate to make some kind of change in your life. And it's hard to think like that at the same time when your routine is on constant replay every week, every month, every year. Work, bills, family responsibilities, barely any time for yourself, repeat. And a lot of us are on that hamster wheel, including myself. But in the midst of all of that, I know all it's going to take is for me to make a decision that truly moves the needle in my life to see something change for the better. And you're going to take some L's. That's his life. You're not going to go through this thing called life with no L's, with no setbacks. That's just impossible. If somebody said their whole life has been perfect since birth, I don't even trust a person like that. I wouldn't be around that person because I know the line. There's no way. There's no way. Nobody's life from the beginning to where it's at right now has just been perfect. Stuff like that, like I say, those are people that you stay away from because they're not being truthful with you. Everybody has had setbacks, has taken L's, has gone through dark times that nobody probably knows about. But in the midst of that, you still got to realize all it takes is one decision for everything in your life to change for the better. Now, for example, for me, currently in my life, I feel like I'm at a place where I've done a lot of good things in terms of trying to improve my life. And some things have worked, some things haven't. I've changed how I've ate. I've done things like I've been vegan. I went down a spiritual journey last year. Even the year prior, I was on a fruitarian diet. I was detoxing. I was fasting. I was taking herbs. And I was doing a lot of that spiritual, work and trying to just cleanse my body. And that for me was a door opening in terms of knowing what I could do if I put my mind to it. And ever since I've adapted those habits, I'm not vegan now. I haven't fasted in like a year and some change. So it's been a while, but I still eat a certain kind of way, even though I'm not perfect with my diet. That system of how I view food, how I view health has forever changed. Now I'm more aware of what I put inside my mouth and my body. And spiritually, I know that I can get back to that place of being a completely one with myself if I need to really dive deeper into myself. And I think I'm overdue for another fast, just to throw that in there, because I think I need to do a little more digging within myself. But that as an example, that was a life-changing event for me. I had to take the plunge. I was scared. I was nervous of losing weight. I didn't want to get skinny. I didn't know if I had enough money to buy the herbs. I didn't know if I was going to finish. I was doing like a 37-day fast, 100% fruits and herbs. Meanwhile, my work schedule is kind of floppy, so I'm not really getting the best sleep. I'll get low on fruit. My anxiety will get high because I'm like, what am I going to eat? It's really funny when you are eating on a diet that is strict, you worry about running out of food, and it puts you at such a high anxiety state. And even through that, I always have fruit to eat. I always had everything I needed. But the human instinct is to worry about lack and what you may not have. And I learned that if you just stay true and pursue what you're doing, everything that you need is going to come to you. I can't explain it, but for me, at least in my life, as long as I stayed focused on what I was trying to do, the plan, the mission, whether it was with community college, whether it was through diet, everything that I needed along the way came to me. even through all the adversity I experienced. So I say all that to say that for me, changing my diet changed the trajectory of how I view food. But that small decision or big decision, based on how you view it, that always going to stick with me. That altered my life in a positive way. That's ingrained in my psyche. That one decision to do that fast for the first time changed my life ever since. And that was 4 or 5 years ago. But if I never did that fast and I kept going down the path I was going down with how I was eating and how my body was just functioning at the time, I may not be as healthy as I am the current day. So, like I say, that's just an example, but your life can change off of one good decision. But you have to sit down, decompress. I know it's hard, but you have to sit down and decompress and really analyze yourself and your life. And you have to be bluntly honest with yourself to the point where you may not like what you're telling yourself about yourself. That's what you have to do, because a lot of times we don't really want to talk down about ourselves to where we feel like there's nothing we could do about what we're talking down on, But you have to identify those things because you have to come to terms with some things. And you have to also remember that there are a lot of things you can change. But at the same time, you have to come to terms with things you can't change. Because if you don't, it's going to always be a shackle to your ankle because you're never going to be able to fully let go and just and be you and be comfortable with you. Right? But again, every single day you wake up in the morning, you get a blank slate to change your life. And this ain't no cliche motivational speech. You really think about it. If you got home safely and you came home and you showered and you ate and you went to sleep and you woke up, there's so many things that could have happened that could have stopped you from waking up the next day. God forbid. But you got home safely and you completed the mission of doing the things you needed to do, and you got home and you went to bed and you woke up again with a blank slate. In the blank slate, you can do whatever you want to do today, but it's all going to be based upon your decisions of what you want to do. So whether that's working overtime at your job when you don't feel like it, whether that's you going to the gym when you know you need to hit the gym, but you're a little antisocial, you got a little social anxiety, but you still go because you know it's going to better you 5 to 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You're delaying gratification with just not seeing results, but you know at some point you're going to see results. That one good decision can change your whole entire life. So in the day, like I say, leave with the attitude of realizing, hey, things could be fucked up right now, but tomorrow I got a chance to make something unfucked up. That's it. That's all. I'm gone.